Welcome to another episode of the Empowerment Minutes podcast, the podcast that equips you with practical tools, bold inspiration, and in talent development, and also leadership strategies to thrive in the workplace and in life. So I am your host, Dr. Maurine Kwende. I help leaders and organizations put their dreams to flight through executive leadership coaching, speaking, facilitation, consulting, and also I'm an educator and learning leader. And I do this through my company called EMK Learning Solutions. So I'll be excited to support you. Let's get to it. Once again, welcome back to the Empowerment Minutes podcast. And for those who are tuning in for the first time, welcome and happy new month. This is the month of July. I actually almost said Happy New Year. Happy new month of July. And I'm your host, Dr. Maurine Kwende. I'm so excited to kick off this month, this brand new month, and with a powerful theme titled Set Your Dreams in Motion, Accelerate Your Second Half with Bold Action. So we've officially crossed the midpoint of the year. Can you believe it? Like this year is just going by so fast. We have officially crossed the midpoint of the year. And today's episode is about what to do next. So we're 7 months in, right? If for you it feels like your goals have stalled, or you've not made that much progress, or you're craving a reset, this episode is actually your invitation to pause, realign, and fuel your second half with bold, focused momentum. So today we're going to be talking about some strategies, and these are inspired by my book titled Dream Big and Live Your Dreams Boldly, which I published 3 months ago. And it's actually, if you have the book, you want to refer to part 3 and go down, the back of the book to the dream framework, and you're going to look at the reflection part of it. This is where I'm actually pulling into this episode. So today I will be talking about the 5 R's reset framework, which would help you reflect, reframe, and reignite your leadership and your dreams. So if you have the book, you can refer to part 3 of the book and follow along. So today we're going to start off with our first segment, right? So why do we even want to consider this topic, to set your dreams in motion, accelerate your second half with bold action? Why do we even want to think about doing this reset, this midpoint reflection? This matters because, of course, we're beyond the halfway mark, and whether you're celebrating wins or feeling like you fell behind, this is a powerful moment, right? Because when you reflect, it's your chance to shift, it's your chance to recommit, it's your chance to lead with intention. And so you don't need a fresh start to start over. You need to have this fresh mindset, a clean plan, and that's exactly what the 5 R's offer. So in the beginning of the year, I talk about I invited some of you to my dream board, which is similar to a vision board workshop. And everybody created their vision boards, their dream boards, and then created goals and little steps, to take action on those goals, and being able to work on those habits that support those goals, those dreams. So now we're we're in the midpoint of the year, right? So now it's time to reflect, right? And when you look at those 5 R's, the reset framework, I'm going to walk us through. So the first one is titled Reflect, right, which is part of my Dream Big framework, right? It's time to take time to honestly evaluate your progress from January until now. Think about that vision board. Think about the dream board. Think about your goals. Think about your steps that you've been taking till now, right? Ask yourself questions like, what went well? What are some areas that didn't go so well? What did you learn, right? What did you have to unlearn? What do you have to relearn, right? Taking the time to have that self-awareness, self-reflection helps to fuel growth, right? And so this starts here with a reflection. You want to also review what you have done so far, right? Go and look at your strategic plan for the year, right? What have you done so far? What are some of those changes that you need to make? Of course, When we think about times when things didn't go so well, right? And now this brings us to the second R, reframe, where you're wanting to, shift that mindset. So, what limiting beliefs do you need to challenge? What are some things that you're telling yourself about failure, right? You may have failed, right? Failure doesn't mean that it's the end, right? It's your chance to move forward. You cannot make progress without failure. Failure actually feels a success, right? So how can you reframe your mindset? How can you reinterpret those setbacks as setups for success? It's time for you to rewrite that story, right? It's time for you to change that narrative, right, through reframing. Now, this brings us to the third R, refocus. I love refocus. Now, cut through the noise. I would say that, cut through the noise, because you might have external noise, internal noise. You have naysayers that are telling you cannot even move forward. You cannot succeed. Your year is doomed and all that. It's time for you to take your power back and refocus, cut through that noise, and return to what matters most. So, what are some of your top 3 priorities now? You've reflected, you've progressed, you've examined your goals, your plans for the year, your dreams, right? So, what are some of your top 3 priorities right now? What are some of the distractions, right, that you currently have, that you have to release? What are some of those relationships that you have to release? What are some of the things, the negativities, the setbacks that you got to let go? In my book, I talk about, dream traps. What are some of the things that are holding you back? Procrastination. What are some of the things? Self-sabotage, complacency. What are some of the things that have been holding you back with the first quarter of the year, right? It's now the time to take your power back, like I mentioned, right? It's time to focus, right? It's time to really make, that intentional step and move forward. So what about the 4th step? Recommit. That's the 4th R. It's time to re-engage with boldness, right? Want to be able to choose your goals intentionally, right? You got to be able to leverage intentionality here. You got to know yourself to grow yourself. That's the law of awareness by John Maxwell. What have you learned about yourself from the beginning of the year until now, right? And how can you rebuild those routines that support consistency? And what can you do to say no to what no longer serves you, what no longer align, those relationships that no longer serve you? What can you do to discipline plus desire those things that build onto your momentum, right? The 5th point, or the 5th R, is reignite. Yes, you got to be able to reignite. It's like light the fire. Nothing changes until you take action. What's the one thing that you can do today to move forward? Right? You don't have to have the whole thing figured out. It might just have to be a little baby step, right? So a step would always take you towards towards making that bold step forward versus staying on the one place, right? So bold dreams demand bold steps. So you want to be able to take the step. If you don't, you can plan all you want. If you don't take action, you're still going to be on the same spot. Now we're on to segment 3. This is what I call the challenge statement, right? It's where you're wanting to challenge yourself. This is your moment, your own challenge. I want to challenge you to take 20 minutes this week, right? And you can break it down to 5 minutes a day to walk through your 5 hours in your journal or in your planner. If you have my book, go to part 3 and complete some of those prompts. Ask yourself, what belief do I need to reframe to move forward? What core goal would I recommit to this month and for the second half of the year? What's one bold action I can take to reignite momentum and start today? Then share it with someone, your accountability partner, maybe a coach like myself. When you come to your coaching sessions, you can bring those in, right? Or even post it online, making your declaration, obvious, right? Declare your intention so you can build commitment. So you don't need to do it all. You just need to do the next thing, the next thing that's right. So here's some final thoughts. You've made it past the midpoint. Now it's time to lead with intention. So this month, Let's go beyond reflecting and start doing. Let's take bold action rooted in clarity, confidence, and courage. I want to thank you for joining today's episode of the Empowerment Minutes podcast. If you've been inspired, share this Empowerment Minutes podcast with someone who needs this message, right? Who needs to reignite their second half. And don't keep it a secret. And also don't forget to revisit part 3 of my book titled Dream Big and Live Your Dreams Boldly. It's time for you to take action and accelerate your second half of the year. Until next time, keep dreaming big, leading boldly, and setting your vision in motion. This is Dr. Maurine Kwende signing off.